now we'll start with the session on pranayam. This is something that pranayam we do. Many of you attend the pranayam classes, and every day we are doing this. And this is something that just wanted to put together some information. Long time ago, Dr. Varda, she put together a presentation on the pranayams, and some of you attended this. So based on that and adding some more information, I have put together this presentation. So let's go through that. Okay. Again, we'll do this in two parts. And so this is part one. And I hope to cover this part one completely. But again, if it gets too late, then we may just continue next time. Okay. And again, I mentioned Dr. Varda Divgi. Okay. She's a pulmonologist. So this is the agenda, just some information about what is breathing and our human respiratory system, muscles of breathing, and so on. And then we continue with the sequence, in that same sequence, starting with Bhasrika, which is here. All this Bhasrika, Kapalbhati, Agnisar, Ujjayi, and so on. So all these things we do during the pranayam sessions in the mornings. And so we will cover the benefits of it, and also the sequence of what we do. And then we'll just some in the end, what is the overall way to breathe and so on. Okay. So we'll see how much we can cover from this. So breathing is again a very important function. It is both voluntary and involuntary. And that's, in that sense, it's very unique. There are very few, there is almost no other function in the human body that is both voluntary and involuntary. And it is in a key interface with the external world. Again, we're not going to talk about the subtle aspects, but it's considered that your breath is a carrier for prana, and all those subtle aspects we'll cover in part two. And there is a very close relationship between the emotions and the breathing. Most of you know that, so it is both ways. If you get angry, your breathing gets affected, and if your breathing is affected, you get it will affect your emotions. And overall, it's something that practicing the techniques may help you with both body and mind and spirit. In general, some people talk about breathing like this, that what's the point in learning? Doesn't matter whether I learn or not, I will keep on breathing throughout my life. And if I'm not breathing, how does it matter? I'm dead at that point. So learning the technique is not really that important. But you can think of Muthu as one example where you can and again I'm not saying that you have to learn 100 miles, but just something that keep you healthy and both calm you down and be in a position to respond properly to the events in the life. That's what breathing will help you with. Okay. So let's go over the more information about breathing. And again, if you have any questions, just keep those questions in mind, or jot them down, and or anytime you can just send me those questions. In case we are not able to cover them today, then we'll cover it next time. So this is the kind of a diagram of the human respiratory system. So nasal cavity and the air coming through the nose, and then the pharynx and larynx and trachea and so on. This lungs, the most important element of the human respiratory system has been the diaphragm, which is all the way down at the bottom. So this diaphragm has been moving up and down from since we are born, and that is what's really driving all that breathing So as the diaphragm moves down, it's going to expand the lungs, and you can see those alveoli. They are expanding, like balloons, and there is exchanges. The other diagram shows exchange between the carbon dioxide and oxygen, and then the exhale out, and then uh, the blood with little bit more oxygen is circulated throughout the body, and each and every cell is getting that oxygen. And at the physical level, at a more subtle level, it's getting the prana. So anyway, this thing continues throughout your life, and this will give you kind of a good picture of the different parts of the respiratory system. Next one are the muscles of the breathing, and of course the most important muscle of the breathing is on the right side, which is the diaphragm, and it's kind of a piston where as it moves down, it's going to create more vacuum, and then as it moves up, and that's when the exhale happens. There are other muscles, the muscles in the blue on the left side are the muscles that are used when you inhale, and the muscles on the right side are when you exhale. Okay, and again, there are sometimes there is a just uh, automatic exhale as the lungs just come back to there's some elastic recoil, and as they come back to the normal state, automatically that exhale will happen. And again, all these muscles are kind of accessory muscles. The main muscles has always been the diaphragm. These muscles that you can see, they help you to expand the chest, this rib cage. That will allow that lungs to expand more. And also there is this clavicles, they can go higher up. Some muscles will pull those clavicles up, and that will again help you to expand the rib cage, and expand the lungs, allow the lungs to expand more. So this gives you a general idea about what are the muscles of breathing and the process of breathing. Okay. And there are, this is this when we talk about pranayam, there are 4 stages in the pranayam. Okay. So again, I'm using this the Sanskrit words also. So purak is the one when you inhale. Okay. So you deep inhale, that's the purak in case of pranayam. Then the next step is you hold the breath in. So that's the antar kumbhak. Antar means inside. So you are holding that breath inside, and kumbhak just means holding, and either in hold inside or outside. And then rechak is exhaling out. So that's the so it starts with that purak, then the kumbhak, then the rechak, and then the baya kumbhak. Now, all this, the 2 things that are always going to happen. One is that purak, which is like inhale, and number 3, which is the exhale. Now, whether you hold the breath in or out or not, depending on that, you'll get different varieties of pranayam, and with different characteristics. So this is just I wanted to mention those 4 phases. And now let's go to the next one. Okay. So, uh, I hope you don't mind that we go through this sequence and then ask questions. Now we are starting with the way we start the pranayam sequence in the morning. And again, if you look at pranayam, there will be many books on pranayams with different ways. Bhasrika also, you will find many different ways of doing it. But I'm just documenting what we do in Sri Yoga. And also, the first page is generally something that talks about, what is it and what are the benefits. Most of that information is something that Varada put together. And then the next step is the instructions that we use during this during that pranayam. So pranayams are of different types. There are energizing pranayams, then there are relaxing pranayams, there are balancing pranayams, there are cooling pranayams, and so on. So in the our classes, we generally start with the energizing pranayams. So we start with Bhasrika, which is energizing pranayam, and basically, okay, many of you have already attended these classes, but you bring the elbows together, open up, inhale, arms up, belly forward, open up the fist, exhale, arms down, belly in, close the fist. So this is the basic sequence. And you can see all this information, the both the video. I started the recording, right? Okay. Yeah. So all this information will be available, the recording as well as the presentation. So even if you are not able to follow everything now, you can just take a look at it, and if there are any errors, then send me message about correcting it. And otherwise, just this is kind of a book for you to look at, and since there are many questions about we are doing this, but why are we doing this? What are the benefits and so on? So this will give you some idea about the benefits. So again, the energizing pranayams, as it says, it's going to help you. If you are tired, then it will help you to get more energy. Okay. And the at the end it says that increases the gastric fire, improves appetite, digestion, and so on. Okay. And practice with Kumbhaka, we don't really practice with Kumbhaka, but there are some other benefits of this Bhasrika. So on the next page, I will show the instructions that we use. And again, most of you that practice the sessions know this sequence. It's almost exactly the way I say it. And I don't want to go through this unless there are people that don't attend the pranayam classes. If there is anyone, you can just talk and let me know. But otherwise, the Bhastrika, we do it in two different ways. One is we bringing the elbows together and inhale, arms up, belly forward, open up the fist, exhale, arms down, belly in, close the fist. So we are doing belly breathing. So inhale, belly comes forward, exhale, belly in. And I use this arm movement. You saw that in those muscles of in the breathing, that there are axillary muscles, and so when you bring the arms up, it is going to open up the chest more. So in addition to that belly coming forward, there is some additional benefit of doing this arm movement and so on. And in a way, you get some exercise also, bringing the arms sideways and so on. Okay. Any questions? Okay. And then the second one that we do is the one where you have rhythmic breathing. Okay. I just want to check in if there is any questions. There's some. I see some people that have. Uh, so Shailaja, you have a question? Otherwise, I will mute you. Okay.
No question.
Okay. So the other one that we do, this is part of the three-step rhythmic breathing, and sometimes we had the sessions on three-step rhythmic breathing. We don't really follow all the steps in three-step rhythmic breathing, but this is one of the exercises where you can I can just play that music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out.
So something like that. So in that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the stepwise, you are pulling the belly forward, and then when you hear 5, then when you hear out, then you pull the belly in. So again, this is kind of a Bhasrika, and we generally do this each of those two Bhasrika exercises about 20 times. Okay? Um, and the benefits were on the previous page. Uh, Next one, Kapalbhati. So this is another energizing pranayam. And the difference between Kapalbhati and Bhasrika is that in Kapalbhati you focus only on the exhales and the inhales are more passive. Think of it as if, the one way to look at it is, you are on the tennis court and there is a basket with tennis balls. And let's say you are taking a tennis ball and then throwing it out. Now, if you there are two steps that you're taking the ball and throwing it out, but think as if you are just trying to throw the ball out. Okay, that's what way to think of Kapalbhati. So you are just focusing on the exhales, and inhales will happen, but they will happen. It's a more, you don't have to make any effort as long as you are trying to exhale some you have to get some inhale, and that's what happens in Kapalbhati. And that Kapal, is the forehead, and Bhati means shining. So if you actually do this Kapalbhati, then it's more energy is flowing towards the head, and maybe that your forehead will start shining. How many times we do? We generally do it about 50 times. I know there are people that do up to 1000, and again, you have to find out what works for you. In the sequence that we have in the morning, it's not like customized for individual needs. Some people, if we have to customize it, then we'll have to have different types of pranayams for different people. This the sequence that I have put together is kind of something that can benefit everyone. And there are also some concerns about Kapalbhati and Bhasrika that people with blood pressure may have. It may not be a good thing to do Kapalbhati and Bhasrika. If you look at the books, and that's what some books will say. But my answer to that is, let's say you are doing Bhasrika. If you do it fast, okay, that may have some rapid change in your blood pressure inside. But you can go at a slow pace, and then you'll still get the benefits. And then slowly you can increase it. And same way, I feel that in Kapalbhati, if the way we do it, we do it for about 50 times, and that is something that is, in general, at least I'm not a doctor, but in general, it is not something that's going to have adverse effects on your health. Okay. So doing Kapalbhati 50 times, and that also, if needed at a slow pace, should be okay for any person. Again, you just see if it works for you. If not, you can just don't have to do it. Okay. All right. So, and the again, Kapalbhati, I will come up with the instructions. So you interlace fingers, arms up, and the reason to do that again is, you can see that my rib cage is expanding, and then you pull the belly in and out. So, and I didn't say how many times, but we generally do it about 50 times. Okay. Then next, oops. Okay. So next is Agnisar, and again, many of you know what you have been doing this. So basically, you oh, Agnisar, I think it went to the next. I should be able to go back to the previous slide. It's not somehow it's not letting me go back to the previous slide. Okay, so Agnisar, this is the information about Agnisar. And again, this is really creating fire, agni, so it's like essence of the fire. That's what we are doing, just pulling the belly in and out without inhale. That's what Agnisar is, and it's kind of a, I would say, more intense, energizing pranayam, more intense than both Kapalbhati and Bhasrika. And the it will certainly have more energy and circulation and all that. So you can read all that information in this that what Varda has put together. And these are the instructions. We do it in three different ways. First, you just pull the belly in and out. And then you have option to rotate the abdominal muscles in clockwise direction. And then the third option is to rotate the abdominal muscles in anti-clockwise direction. And again, I have put together the numbers, how many times we do it, and so on. And this is certainly these are we start with this energizing pranayams, and this is the third energizing pranayam that we do. Okay. And then the next one we do is kind of relaxing pranayam. Even though Ujjayi, it's a victorious breath and so on, it is considered as a relaxing pranayam. So just without arm movement, if you just do like constrict the throat and exhale through making that ha sound, that itself is kind of a relaxing. We again use the arm movement and so on. Okay. So in terms of the information, it's slow, deep inhaling, filling the lungs, and then moving upwards. And we don't really hold the inhales. Then we exhale out and constricting the throat, making the ha sound. And it's going to help you, with your breathing, and also, it's kind of interesting that this is relaxing. And the way we do this is we have bring hands together. As we inhale, arms go sideways, palms facing up, and as we exhale, make a ha sound and bring arms back up. Okay. And the other one that we do is the Ujjayi breathing, while breathing through nose, and that's the ocean breathing. So when you inhale, you bring arms up, palms together, and when you exhale, you bring arms down, and so on. Okay. So I'm not sure if I'm going too fast. Ragini, any questions? Okay.
No, this is perfect.
Okay. And again, you are going to have this all information handy for you, and then you can ask more questions and so on. Okay. Okay. And especially for people that are new, it will be helpful. There are also some, I had the requests from, there's a lady that's a doctor in New Jersey, and she uses this pranayama information that we do. She attends the evening the weekend classes, but she was interested in the benefits and overall information. So I mean, this is you have been practicing it, but this will give you more information about what it is and how it helps. Next is the that we do is left nostril breathing, and that 1-1-1-1, it is showing the ratio of inhale, hold, exhale, hold out. And you can use different sequence. They have different benefits, but generally, this is a well-known sequence, 1-1-1-1. And there are good benefits of it. It is kind of interesting to know that we have two nostrils. We have one mouth for eating, And why do we need two nostrils? And it's interesting that one nostril is dominant, and so more air is coming through that nostril, and that cycle changes about every 90 minutes or so. Again, that there is no good scientific basis for whether it's 90 or something else, but there is statistics that that cycle keeps on changing. So you inhale through for some time you may be inhaling more from left nostril, and sometime you may be inhaling more from the right nostril. And the logic behind is the left nostril breathing affects the right side of the brain, and then the right nostril breathing affects the left side of the brain. And so the left nostril breathing, it's stimulates the parasympathetic sympathetic nervous system, and so that creates a kind of a relaxing, calming sensation. Uh, I also read some material where if you are feeling stressed out, you can just put a cotton ball in your right nostril and breathe, and especially if it is hot and afternoon time, and you're feeling not comfortable, you can put that cotton ball in the right nostril and breathe through left nostril for some time, and that will cool you down. Okay. So anyway, so this is about the left nostril breathing, and we use that sequence 5 seconds of each step. Um, so again, this is just giving the instructions that you always sit in a comfortable position, keep the spine erect. That is something that if you are doing pranayam, make sure that the spine is erect. Don't just hump, just and keep the shoulders relaxed. And you can just bring the shoulders up and down and just stay there, and then start that pranayam. Okay. Uh, So you first close the right nostril, inhale from left. Again, each step is there. All those four stages of Kumbhaka are there. So just that you are breathing only through the left nostril. Okay. And we are repeating it 3 times, but as needed, you can do this more often. Okay. If you need to be, especially if you are not getting good sleep, you can try left nostril breathing, or you can try the alternate nostril breathing. Okay. So let's go to right nostril breathing. Again, this is the other side, that that right breathing through right nostril is going to affect your left side of the breath, which is as the sympathetic nervous system, and that is also important. That's is more energizing, and your will help with your body metabolism. It will help you with your digestive system and so on. So again, if you are feeling sluggish, that right nostril breathing may help. Uh, uh, I included all these sequences in our regular pranayam just to give you understanding, and not just understanding, but actually practicing it every day. Um, and if there are, again, as if we have to customize it, then you could decide that if somebody is feeling very weak and tired, then we could have that person do the right nostril breathing for longer time. And so this is the sequence. So again, each step is 5 seconds, and then you can inhale from right nostril, hold, exhale, hold, and so on. Okay. That's what we do. And then the alternate nostril breathing. Then the alternate nostril breathing is excellent. I wish we had more time to do alternate nostril breathing, but we want to finish it like in 30, 35 minutes. But there are lots of benefits of alternate nostril breathing. We are doing this only 2, 3 times, but we should do it at home. If you have time, then we should do this more longer time. And also we are using that sequence of 1-1-1-1. So you inhale through nose, inhale through left, hold the breath in, then close the left, exhale from right, and so on. Uh, that sequence, the timing you could change it, and then there are some additional benefits or different types of benefits of holding the breath for longer time and so on. Okay. And again, this has the information about, it will help you balance. The main thing about the alternate nostril breathing is that it helps you to balance. Okay. And so anytime if you feel stressed out, I would highly recommend trying the alternate nostril breathing. And this gives the sequence of what we do. So you have the 5 seconds in each interval, and we repeat it 3 times. Sometimes I repeat only twice, just because the time, if there is not enough time. Okay. And then we do holding the breath in. So that's the Antar Kumbhak. And we do that 10 to 20 seconds. And when I started this we started this sequence during the pandemic. And basically, both this holding the breath in for 20 seconds and holding the breath out for 20 seconds, if you can do that, then at least you are not affected by COVID. That's what my first thought about coming up with this two exercises: the holding the breath in and holding the breath out. And again, the later on the, especially the exhaling the breath out, when we do these locks and so on, we hold the breath out. So in some sense, there is not need to do the same thing twice. But my objective for including this was, again, this is kind of a easy test for you to check whether you are whether COVID is affecting you or not. Okay. Okay. So this is the holding the breath in, and again, this gives some benefits of what it does, and then holding the breath out, something similar to that. Okay. And this I put together. This is not part of our breathing, but basically, it is important to know that the diaphragmatic breathing is more efficient. Some people are just trying to, when you inhale, just trying to expand the chest, whereas having that belly forward and belly in, that is the key thing, and that's the method that you want to cultivate. You should observe how you are breathing, and if you are not breathing diaphragmatically, then there are some techniques that you can do. For example, you can put a book. You can be lying down on your mat on your back, and put a heavy book on your stomach, and just let that book go up and down. So that will kind of train you to do that diaphragmatic breathing. And it's interesting that the kids, they do the diaphragmatic breathing, and their breathing is more efficient. But somehow we forget that, and we don't realize that that kind of breathing. So that's something that if you want to know how you want to breathe normally, then try to do that diaphragmatic breathing. And again, how many times you should breathe? There are many different ways that some people think that the less number of breaths you take is better for you. On the average, I would say if you can breathe 12 times a minute, that is something to go for in the practice. But anyway, I think we don't have any specific specific sessions for cultivating this kind of breathing. So, but maybe something to think about. And this is something that I wanted to include, that Kabir Bhajan. You might know about this bhajan, Moko Kaha Dhunde Re Bande, and it basically that says, I am not in any नाम में ना मूरत में ना तीर्थ में ना एकांत निवास में. I am not anywhere, but if you try to find me, I am right there. And Kabir says that I am in that trust or vishwas, the maito hu vishwasa mein. But I'm just modifying it, saying the maito hu shwasa mein. So I feel that your God is in that breath. Now, if you can take care of your breath, your life will be fine. And so that's my last. I think that's the last slide. Yeah. Again, if you have questions, you can ask the questions. Okay. Let me stop the share screen and then look at your questions if you have any questions. Okay. All right, so this was a short presentation, but basically it is something information that will be available for you, and you can use it and ask more questions. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji. Can I ask you? This is Shailaja. Can I ask you one question?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Can we do this like Anulom Vilom and Kapalbhati before we go to bed?
I would suggest Anulom Vilom. I won't suggest Kapalbhati. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Anulom Vilom is more, you will feel and I would highly recommend Anulom Vilom actually before going to bed.
Oh, okay. And
Kapalbhati is, may keep you awake more.
oh, it's energizing breathing. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You didn't mention the golden nugget here.
So this is the part 2. So the first part I covered only up to this. So rest of it is, I think it has more, subtle aspects. The chakras and Brahmari Pranayam and gold nugget and all those things. So I plan to cover them everything soon in part 2.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice explanation. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shailaja. Okay.
Can you send a question?
Go ahead, Shobha.
Yes, this was very useful, but can we, for those who cannot join the morning class, can you make the recording available for this 30 minutes?
Of course, recording has always been available, but in addition to the recording, I will have this recording also.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And again, I forgot to mention that any of the sessions, if it is recorded, unless there are some teachers that don't want the sessions to be recorded, but the teachers that don't mind recording the sessions, those are made available to whoever wants it, and so that includes the pranayam or easy class, chair class, or what, name it. So all these things are available to everyone. So so we are just providing service to everyone. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sriji, I have a question.
Sure.
So many people have a sleep apnea and those issues, and lately we see more and more of those. So in your experience, which pranayam probably is most beneficial for those people?
I would say alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing, or in some cases left nostril breathing may be okay. But I would also focus on some form of meditation. Again, sleep apnea, and if there is some physical issue, then we had to take care of that physical issue. But in general, the alternate nostril breathing and some meditation will help you to get better sleep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Just see, just
Sure.
a quick one.
Dilip, just wait a minute.
Okay.
Ragini has some question and then you can ask it. Go ahead, Ragini.
No, first of all, yeah, this was a beautiful bhajan you shared. I think it explains the whole pranayam into a nutshell. That's so well. It just goes like an arrow, saying, "Oh my gosh, breathing is so important," and can't thank you enough for what you do. My question, I think, was asked that, I mean, we just do it for 35 minutes, but do you think it's necessary that we should do it for longer time? I mean,
I
at
think
home.
we should kind of consider that, especially if people, let's as just Jagdish was saying that sleep apnea, and then we should have some special sequence for there's more alternate nostril breathing. Dr. Varda also Divgi is also very much advocate of alternate nostril breathing. Okay. And so I think that gives me some idea that we should come up with some sequences about what to do with different sequence, especially the alternate nostril breathing. Okay.
Right. In fact, I've just, my CPAP machine is just sitting here and I have to start using. I also have sleep apnea. So it's good to know that.
I think let's work on it, and I'll come up with some sequence, and then we can see if that's effective.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay. Hello, Dilip. You had some question?
I have a question about any of these alternate nostril breathing, left or right or alternate. That's ratio of 1-1-1-1 to keep the breath out for 5 seconds. Sometimes that's not possible. Can you have a sequence of 2-2-2-1? That's my question. What thing is, can we hold the breath out shorter? Will that help, or will that?
I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. We need to.
I can hold it in for much longer than I can hold it out.
Yeah, okay. So this was kind of in that three-step rhythmic breathing, the square breathing sequence. That's what this inhale, hold, exhale, hold. But if there are some specific issues, then that difficulty to stay in certain way, then I think overall, I think both Ragini and you are telling me that let us come up with more good sequences of alternate nostril breathing, which may be more specific for individual needs. Okay. And I will work with Varda about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dilip.
Can you please send us the slides of this presentation?
Yeah, I will be sending both the slides, and I think I'll have Krishna put this on YouTube, and so I'll share the recording and also the slides.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome, Dilip. Namaste, Sunilji. Looks like you have some question.
Yes, Shrikantji, it was a very nice summary of all the pranayams that we covered today. And I think it jives with whatever I've learned through yoga teachers training, as well as my personal practices. And I can provide you feedback. Actually, when we do practically, at that time, we can review your notes and, give you some feedback as to how it works out. But excellent. So in a short, I would say that typically when you sleep in the night, you want to be cooler. So I tend to lie down initially on my right side. So automatically your left nostril is open, which cools your body. And then after some time, if you prefer to sleep on the back, then you can revert back to that. But that's the practice I've been following, and that seems to help. And in the afternoon, if you're planning to take a short nap, then you should typically sleep on the left side of the body. So your surya or the heating nostril, the right side is open, which helps in the digestion of the food.
I see. Yeah, and that's a good. I didn't think about the left and right side of sleeping, but that's a good point, and certainly worth considering and see if you can just again, as you know, that it's more of a you have to experiment and see what works for you, and try it, and but certainly it makes sense that if you are breathing through left nostril, that will help you. Okay, with the at night for sleeping. Yeah, okay.
Right. And also I had attended a seminar. So just a practical thing that, let's say in the morning you're driving and you're very tensed up because of stop and go traffic, or there's a red light and you're getting late. So this gentleman was very jovial. So he said, in Jainism, there's a Namokar mantra prayer. So he said, oh, you don't have to worry about anything. Just say that prayer and you will see that by the time you finish that prayer, that signal is turning green. So essentially he was trying to say that be patient, be calm. And what I do is, even when driving, I mean, if you're stopped, especially, or even otherwise, you can easily do Anulom Vilom or alternate nostril breathing. So that's something which you can develop, practice, and if it doesn't affect your driving skills, then I think it's a very good time to do that as well.
Okay. One thing I wanted to mention, uh, something that I can do, and I know that some people that can do without using the hands. I can kind of force more air through left nostril.
Oh,
So do the alternate nostril breathing without using the hands. Okay. Okay.
I
And
haven't
so that
mastered
is
that, but
something
that'll be nice to do
that
it.
is
Yeah.
something that especially if you're at the stop sign, you can you don't have to use the hands.
I think you
Shrikantji,
need to teach us that in next class.
in that case, can you, so let's say your right nostril is active at that time. Can you switch it without holding one of the nostrils?
Yeah. I can just just go and but then again you practice it and you can see you can feel it that there's more air is going through one nostril and coming back. No. Just try
And
it.
yeah,
Maybe
I'll
you
try
can
it.
also do it. You just don't know it. Okay.
Right. And also a way to find out what nostril is dominant at a particular time. You can just hold your back of your wrist and feel the air, where it's coming in and out. So basically that's the way to find out.
Yeah, certainly. And again, I don't know if you have practiced Vipassana, but that's also another one that, the first part of Vipassana is just focusing on your breathing. And then you can get that awareness of the warmth of the breath, or, which nostril is more dominant and all that, just, if you just focus on that breathing, that can help you to find out which nostril is more dominant. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Very nice explanation. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Shelley.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night. Namaste, Swati, and Subhash. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay.
thank you, Sri.
Namaskar, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sriji.
Namaste,
Very nice.
Rachna.
Namaskar,
Oh,
Guruji.
okay.
Good
Reshma,
night.
namaste. Yeah.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Good night.
Wonderful session.
Thank you, Shobha. Namaste. Hello, Seishu.
Thank you.
Namaste. Good
Thank
to
you,
see you.
Sriji. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Hello, Prabha.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Okay.
Guruji. Very
Thank you.
nice session. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Have a good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. Okay. Hello, Reena.
Thank you.
Nice to see
Thank
you.
you. That was very nice. Long standing explanation. So it was very nice to see that session.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'm
Sri.
sure Niru has some difficult questions.
No. So regarding this Anulam Vilom Pranayam, that because you can do it very effectively, that we used to practice in the teachers training. That Gayatri Mantra has 4 transa. Each transa is 5 seconds. So you breathe in with Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Hold 5 seconds. same
Yeah.
the second transa.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that is one way to keep up with the like a ratio, means like you don't have, or another alternative is that you do the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
so that way you keep the ratio same of all this thing.
Yeah. 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 Good. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I think just adding mantras is certainly more effective when you are doing alternate nostril breathing.
Alternate nostril breathing. So that way your focus can be more on the mantra
Yeah.
as well as you focus point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that helps.
Exactly. Right.
I sometimes I practice in my class this one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. That Ramchandra. Namaste, Ramchandra.
Sagar.
Namaskar.
Dhanyawad.
Namaste. Very nice to see both of you. You started attending after the Atlanta sessions, and it is very nice. Thank you. Okay. Hello, Prakash. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste.
We heard
Namaste,
We were
Ramakrishna.
driving while listening to you. So.
Okay, okay. But it will
Okay.
be available, recording will be available. So
Yes, yes, yes. Please. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good to see
Thank
you,
you for this.
Ramakrishna. Okay.
I am benefited by this. I never attended any session of yours practically earlier.
Okay.
I thought
So,
this is a good opportunity to learn the basics of pranayam. I have never practiced it, but I thought it's a good opportunity to know about it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great
So,
honor.
Ramakrishna, he knows me since second grade. So, okay. So he's attending from India. Okay, okay. So thank you for attending. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll close this and so it's nice that we had Muthu also talk about his experience and so on. Hello, Sampada. Namaskar. You are on mute, so I can't hear you.
Hello, Kaka. खूप छान झालं सेशन. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And whatever Muthu is kind of very inspiring person. So just okay.
Oh, very much. He has been always like I still remember when Aditi and Shivam used to come. He used to always take very nice care of Shivam and like he used to make sure that he is engaged and
Oh yeah,
interested in doing the stuff.
Yeah, they were like good friends.
Yeah.
One 4-year-old, another 40. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Sampada. Thank you, Ananya. Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kaka. Bye.